Alright y'all, so I made a whole list on my iPad and I am gonna be reading it to you. There are several jobs in the hospital setting that do not require a college degree, though some are requiring certifications or on-the-job training. There are a variety of options. So for pharmacy technician, you really need a foundation, a strong solid foundation. I would suggest that you do pharmacology. If you don't do a prerequisite of pharmacology, a course in pharmacology, or go to pharm school or go to school for pharmacy to know some information about the drugs, the brand names, the generic names, so forth, so on, the adverse effects, etc. So that one you definitely need some foundation on. I would suggest that if you are looking to become a pharmacy technician. However, retail places such as CVS, Walmart, Rite Aid, Walgreens, they do provide on-the-job training, and that could be a stepping stone and the entry point for you to get experience in pharmacy, and then you could go ahead and apply to a hospital position for pharmacy technician, because they do require that you have some experience. Even though they're willing to train you, it's like a more experienced field, it's a more experienced part of healthcare, and it's life and death, so you do need a solid foundation. Okay, these jobs that I'm going to be telling you about, they typically require certifications or on-the-job training. Some hospitals will take you in and they'll provide on-the-job training, and some require certifications within 6 months of hire. So I'm going to start with the administrative roles such as medical receptionist. Duties include scheduling appointments, answering the phone, greeting patients. Requirements include a high school diploma, customer service skills. That job I would describe as being laid back. You're basically gonna be dressed in scrubs. You're gonna go in, you're gonna clock in, you're gonna do your administrative and your clerical duties at your desk. Yeah, I would suggest this one for students who are already at school or whatever, and you just want a laid back sedentary job. Yeah, and the pay is not bad at all. It's typically like $18, $19. Let's go on with number 3 on the list. We have patient transporter. You basically transport a patient from room to room. Say for example, they're in the ED and they have to be admitted to the unit, such as the oncology unit or med-surg unit. You take them from the ED and bring them to their respective rooms. The skills that are required are physical fitness, good communication skills, because you're going to be moving patients a lot between departments or rooms via wheelchair or stretchers. Typically in the hospital, I see like 2 to 3 people moving one patient, so I guess working collectively as a team does help as well. So teamwork would be a very useful and critical skill right here. Yep. But patient transporter, you need to be able to lift, push, pull. You got to be in a fit position, because you're going to be taking on a lot of labor. You're going to be lifting, you know, you're going to be pushing, so you need to be fit. Make sure you eat up your breakfast and you're ready to get the patients moving. You're also going to be doing a lot of walking, so being in a fit physique and strong health overall is critical for this position. Men do it, women do it, so it's for everyone. Next up, we have other positions such as hospital registrar or unit secretary. Unit secretary or unit clerk, the basic duties are registering patients, verifying insurance, and handling administrations and admissions. It requires on-the-job training, customer service, and of course a high school diploma. You're gonna be needed to be proficient in English. So yeah, managing paperwork all day, answering phone, assisting the medical staff such as the nurses, the LPNs, The CNAs, you know, you're like a strong support system, like a backbone for the clerical position. Requirements include clerical skills. Familiarity with medical terminology is a plus. Also, being bilingual is a massive plus. So learn up your English, learn up your Spanish, learn up your French. You know, we got a lot of Spanish here. Big up the Latinos, period. All right, let's get into support services. So there's a lot of support services that you can get into just to put your foot in the hospital. Then after 6 months, you can transfer to whatever department. You can apply internally and get another position in another department. Say for example, housekeeping is not what you wanted to do, but you get a position in housekeeping, you can always transfer to your department, to the department that you desire after 6 months. Just make sure your performance is up. Just make sure your attendance is up. Make sure you don't call out a lot, and you know, sky is the limit. All right, so support services include environmental services. Duties include cleaning patients' rooms, operating rooms, and other hospital areas. Requirements include a high school diploma or equivalent. Dietary aid. You know, a lot of hospitals, not a lot, almost always, hospitals do have cafeteria or restaurants, so they're always going to need dietitians, they're always going to need workers, servers, cashiers, etc. So for the dietary aid, duties include assisting with food preparation and delivering meals to patients. Requirements include training on the job. So this one requires you to be trained on the job. So on the job training, either you're gonna shadow someone who has been there for some time, you're gonna get to know the floors, etc. This one includes a lot of walking as well and a lot of pushing, because you gotta push multiple trays, and then you're gonna be designated to an area or a unit in the hospital, and you're gonna deliver patient's meal to the patient's room or to the nursing station, depending on your task for that day or depending on what your supervisor tells you to do. That one is a good one. Another role is the Central Sterile Processing Technician. Duties include sterilizing surgical instruments and managing supplies. Requirements include certification programs which are available at the hospital. Yep. Next job we have on the list is a maintenance worker. Duties include handling repairs, maintaining the hospital, making sure that everything is equipped and functioning, you know, just maintaining the equipment and facilities. Requirements include technical skills and relevant experience. For this role, I do believe that being experienced is a massive plus, because hey, you're a maintenance worker and something is not working, you need for it to be fixed. This is life and death situation. Somebody being in the hospital means that they are ill, right? All right, for patient care, everyone should know about, you know, CNAs. They are very, very important people. All right, so the certified nursing assistant or CNA assists patients with daily activities such as bathing, feeding. They do require a CNA certification. This course, however, only takes a few weeks and it is very cost effective. I would say like around $300 and boom, you're a CNA. And it takes a short amount of time to become a CNA, probably like a month. 3 months is the longest for you to become a CNA. Next up we have phlebotomist. Duties include drawing blood for tests and donations. Required certifications are available, and this position normally requires for you to be certified before they can hire you. So this is another program that you'd have to enroll in college or a training school or a health school that offers this course. Another one on my list is medical assistant. Duties include assisting a doctor with patient exams and administrative tasks. Requirements, training programs, and sometimes you need to have certification, almost always, because the healthcare can be competitive, and who have certifications, who have networking skills, you know, a lot of factors go into you getting hired. So it would be good to be a certified medical assistant. This one I know pays good, probably like 20 to 22 an hour in New Jersey. I'm speaking about New Jersey. I don't know about the other states, but it does pay good. All right. Emergency room technician. Always hiring. Always hiring. So the emergency room technician duties include assisting in emergency care and preparing the rooms for treatment. Requirements include prior EMT training. Not always needed though, because they need people, and they require for you to have a high school diploma. There's a lot of other duties that you do once you're in the ED. It's an emergency room, you need all hands on deck. So this one I would encourage for y'all to just apply to, because people are always leaving, they always need people. So the key responsibilities of an ED technician, emergency room technician, is patient care assistance. You help the patients with the basic needs such as mobility, hygiene, comfort, take and record vital signs, temperature, blood pressure, pulse, and respiration rate. Medical procedures such as wound care, splint application, and phlebotomy. It is also a requirement for you to have a CPR certification if you work in the emergency room, setting up EKGs and other emergency intervention as directed by medical staff. It is crucial for you to prepare and maintain medical equipment and supplies for procedure triage support. Assist in prioritizing patient care based on the severity of their conditions. Monitor and report changes in a patient's status to the nursing staff or physicians. Clinical documentation, room preparation, and maintenance ensure that the emergency room is safe, organized, and ready for emergencies. Patient transportation. So it's a lot of things that you need to have in place to be an ED technician. Required skills include strong understanding of basic medical procedures and terminology, ability to remain calm under pressure in high-stress situations, excellent communication and interpersonal skills to interact with patients and healthcare teams, physical stamina to handle long shifts, heavy lifting, and frequent movement. Remember, the ED can be very stressful. You're going to be walking a lot, you're going to be overwhelmed, you're not getting any water on time. Sometimes you have to hold your pee. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. So the educational requirements include high school diploma or equivalent, completion of a certified emergency medical technician program or similar training. You have to have a CPR certification. Phlebotomy certification may be required. However, some hospitals do provide on-the-job training and on-the-job certification for free. So it's a fast-paced hospital emergency department. Exposure to patients with critical illnesses or traumatic injuries. That's going to be the work environment. It may involve long shifts, night shifts, weekend, holidays, because hospitals are 24/7. And an ER tech may advance through roles such as paramedic, registered nurse, emergency medical services coordinator, or a physician assistant. So it can influence your role and what you choose to do moving forward in the future. So it is a good stepping stone and an entry-level position into the healthcare field to help you to decide on what you really want to do, because it's just so much pressure, you know. So if you become an ED tech, you'll definitely know what you really want to do in the healthcare field. Another position that I want to touch on is a patient sitter. You know, when patients are critically ill, or maybe they're a psych patient / crisis patient, sometimes they require someone to watch them, like a one-to-one. Being a patient sitter, you're just basically gonna watch and ensure that the patient doesn't move, especially if it's a high fall risk patient. So they need for someone to watch over that person. The pay isn't great. It's like $15 or $16 here in New Jersey. For the emergency technician, however, it's like $22, $23, $24, $25. It differs depending on which hospital you apply to. Different hospitals offer different pay rates. Other opportunities at the hospital that don't necessarily require a degree are hospital security guards. They ensure the safety of the patients, the staff, and the visitors. A basic day for them would be checking IDs on every staff that come in, checking bags, you know, just protecting. Serve and protect, yeah. Making sure that everyone has a badge who is a visitor, you know. Stopping patients from leaving the hospital, you know, I don't want to be here no more, yeah. That type of thing. Requirements include high school diploma, security training, or certification. A lab assistant duties include collecting samples and assisting with lab work. Requirements are on-the-job training or SART certification programs. EKG Technician, this has to be one of the easiest jobs. Easy. The duties include performing electrocardiograms to monitor heart activity. So you just sit in and you're just watching the heart activity, and if something looks abnormal, you report it to the medical staff. It pays like $20, $22, thereabout, okay? Birth or labor doula. Support patients during childbirth. Requirements, certifications, but no degree is needed. So yeah, there you have it. I hope this video was useful to you, and I hope it enabled you to make the right choice to get an entry-level position into the hospital. Good luck to you, and do remember to leave a like, a comment, share this to anyone who might find it useful, and all the best in your future endeavors.